Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
You really adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Bazinga.
2 in the box.
Ready to go.
We be fast and
They be slow.
Cool.
Things.
All right, and we're recording. And welcome to the Mt.Geekmore podcast, episode 100. That was actually unplanned. And the listeners, I know, will not believe that, but that was literally unplanned. Episode 100 of Mt.Geekmore, your favorite podcast where you come to listen to four people argue, debate, and talk about the top four, the Mount Rushmore, if you will, of your favorite pop culture subjects. This week's pop culture subject is favorite action movie hero characters.
Yup.
So
it's a character, not the actor.
The character, not the actor, and they're heroes, not villains. We just improvised a rule right now that we're not gonna go with any martial arts
or superheroes.
Well, that wasn't self-imposed.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But the martial arts is going to be a completely different
for sure
episode. I am Nary Science. With me, as usual, has been for 90 plus episodes, is Jeff.
Hello.
And we have Dave.
Howdy. From like 85?
80 or something? I don't know, 85?
Since episode 5.
Episode 5.
90.
Yeah, 90. Right. Well, he hasn't done every episode.
I haven't done every episode.
None of us have done every episode.
No. Yeah.
I haven't done every episode. You haven't done every episode. So, and then we have our recurring favorite friend of the show, Chris.
Buenas.
Friend of
like 7?
Sure. All the good ones.
We call him Mr. Modest.
Or Daddy.
Thank you. Thank you for checking us out, man. Listen, before we get started, I do want to say thank you for those of you who have listened to every episode. It's 100 episodes, and I know lately it's been difficult. We haven't been releasing episodes every week or even bi-weekly as in the last, since 2019, really. And that's partially my fault. I've been traveling a lot, I've been working a lot, and it's very difficult. This is like one of the few podcasts where it's difficult to get, because you need 4 panelists. So it's difficult. Once one person's out, it creates a domino effect. So thank you to those of us who thank you to the listeners who have listened.
Cheers.
And for 100 episodes, this is a crazy amount of fun, man. I really have. Like this, thanks to this episode, thanks to this show, I've made best friends with Jeff and Dave, even though I knew of them or knew them before, like hanging out every week for hours on end for 100 episodes. It's a lot, man. So we've come together as a family. So thank you very much for that. And Chris, of course, is always here. But you know how it is.
Chopped liver, but thanks.
Not chop. It was thinly sliced.
Well, delicately sliced with love.
Yeah.
We'll see you the next time we need a fourth. Damn.
Wow.
The zookeeper just burned you. Nah, I love you, man.
You do look like you look like Kevin James in the movie Zookeeper.
Guys, since this isn't a visual medium, picture a zookeeper.
Picture Kevin James.
Yeah.
And then Photoshop Dave's face on Kevin James's body in the movie The Zookeeper. Did they make a part 2 of that?
I hope not.
Yeah, I think they did.
God, I hope not.
Part 1 wasn't awful. I mean,
they made a sequel to Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Wow, that was terrible.
Yeah. See, that one I didn't go back to see the sequel. I'm like, all right, I saw part 1. We don't need to give you more money.
We're good.
But it made a boatload of money.
But we want to seriously thank you guys. This all started off as a believe it or not, an idea our wives kept pitching at us.
Yeah, it's true.
Saying
you guys should do a podcast together. You guys should do a podcast.
Like you said, Neri, it's made us all freaking pretty much a family.
Yeah.
Including Chris. I'll include Chris.
No, it's only Zookeeper. They only have part 1.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at that cover, holy shit, that is Dave.
Let me see that. Let me see that.
Look, I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh wow! Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
That the fuck is you, sir?
All right. Anyways, so
is Ron McGill nice in real life?
He's awesome.
He's tall.
I know. Yeah, he's
tall.
Yeah. So thank you for checking us out. All right. So how did you guys make your selections?
5 minutes ago.
Chris?
I had to delete it first and then redo it.
I've got a dog's face in my crotch.
Tell me more.
Must be Monday.
So, I didn't do any like superheroes, or I don't know if that was like a rule now, but I guess it was before we found out.
It was all we all did that rule to ourselves. We all self-imposed that rule, but it was never like talked about.
Okay.
It just ended up that we all ended up not choosing superheroes, and I think that makes a different episode. I think on its own. I think that's enough.
Yeah. I had,
but we never talked about it. We just said I'm not gonna do superheroes, and we all were like, oh yeah, me either. I wasn't planning on doing that either. So
and my list ended up being kind of like 90s for some odd reason.
Oh, okay. Some good 90s action.
Yeah, and shit, almost all 90s. There's a couple new ones.
I
in
got
there.
one 80s thrown into mine,
but
most of them were 90s. And 2000s, yeah.
But it was the movies that you remember watching as a kid, and those guys were just like they would awe you, and then that kind of same magic transferred over to when I was older. Like you still watch a couple of movies I've watched as an adult, like the newer ones, and I'm like, shit, that reminds me of when I would watch, Stallone, or I watch when I was a kid, and it gave me that same feeling of like the whole action thing, and like
who's this Stallone fellow you speak of?
It's Tibetan.
Cerbete, ese tipo está salvaje, bro. Nosotros lo llamamos Cerbete el salvaje.
Oh, my grandmother used to love Chuck Norris movies.
Oh.
So she would call me.
So does my grandmother.
They would.
I'm pointing at Dave.
I love Chuck Norris movies.
But they would run them on Telemundo.
Oh, yeah.
In Spanish. So she would call and be all excited. Ay, pusieron una película de Chonorro. And we're like, ¿de quién, abuela? De Chonorro. And I was like,
I know what the name of my next character
Chuck
in
Norris?
D&D is going to be. My next D&D character.
Did she have a favorite Chuck Norris movie?
they were all the same.
They were all the same.
It
The
was
One
all
where he has a
movie.
beard and he kicks people.
Honestly.
That one was so good. So good.
And he's wearing a lot of jean.
In all honesty, I thought all the Chuck Norris movies were the same or like part of the same trilogy.
You're not wrong.
Dave's offended as fuck right now.
I don't think you're wrong. I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna go. Can we get a judge's decision? Yeah, we've got it.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, like when we were talking
Hold on. What Chuck Norris? The thumbs up.
thumbs up.
Survey says.
When the Target exclusive came out, and somebody, I think you were having that conversation about, I wonder which Chuck Norris are going to make, or blah, blah. I was like, the Chuck Norris?
I was like the same thing. They gave me the character name, and I was like,
who is that?
Is that Chuck Norris?
Invasion USA, man. I fucking love that movie.
Classic.
And you are right. There's an awful lot of denim on him.
And everyone, isn't it? Like he's either wearing
camo or denim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Or
That's
camouflage denim.
Oh my God, camouflage denim is the best.
That
dude.
was only in Missing in Action 3. All right?
There was more than one missing in action?
Oh.
Well, they made 1 and 2
What,
at the
did you
same
miss
time.
him?
No, I just saw the one. I thought it was one. I
guess they were
one was the
missing in
best
his
one.
home.
Yeah.
One was the best one.
Okay. Well, is that the one where he's in the pit of like shit?
They're all he's in the pit of shit.
That's the second one.
That's called the movies.
No, that was
That's called the movies that he's
that was
in.
called Sidekicks. No,
Sidekicks.
You shut your mouth.
amazing.
You shut your mouth, sir.
which was the cop movie that he did? With the dog?
Oh, yes. Fuck, I can't remember the name of that
So
one.
excited.
Shit.
Because we're talking about animals, and the zookeeper's excited.
Not even the dog was excited for that movie.
What about you, Dave?
So I have talked endlessly about some of my favorite action heroes. So I decided, listen, there's almost 100 episodes about how much I love Indiana Jones, about how much I love the Terminator, and all these other action heroes. So I've decided to not go that route and go a little bit more in depth into my love of the action hero.
So only Conan.
Yeah.
Got it.
Conan the Destroyer, Conan the Barbarian,
and Red Sonja.
The best one.
So yeah, you won't be finding any Conan the Barbarians. You won't be finding any Terminators or Indiana Joneses or James Bonds or anything like that. Which everyone knows I love. I absolutely love these things. But I've talked about them ad nauseum. So let's get something else out there. Discuss some other things that I really love, and just have fun for a fresh 100th episode.
I like it. I kind of went the same route. John McClane's not on my mountain, guys.
Wow.
I know what y'all were thinking because he would be my number
I
one.
actually didn't even remember that, like John.
Die Hard's like my favorite action movie of all time.
Of the three,
We went back and forth, and we each called.
we meaning David and I.
Yeah.
Right, I am pointing at Neri, but no one but Jeff and Chris can see this.
Correct, and the dog.
Yeah, but I called
the
three
dog,
of
it's
you. I
licking
called three of
itself.
your favorites, and John McClane wasn't in those three that I
Oh,
called.
okay.
I called one.
So
And, I'm not sure.
So the thing with me is, and one of the reasons I didn't do the superhero one is because Deadpool would be my number one. I enjoy the sarcastic, witty hero.
Right.
The guy, and also the guy that didn't either want to be the hero and kind of was forced into it.
Frank
or-
Drebin.
Backed into it.
Right. Dude, so close. I was like, is this count as an action movie?
I really wanted to put
Make
him
it
in.
count as an action movie.
He was on a couple lists that I saw.
Yeah.
He was on a couple lists.
I mean, there's, and the thing is I am a big fan of really bad action movies and horror movies. Like, I enjoy bad movies.
Like the Fast and the Furious.
Right. I do. I don't give a fuck what you say.
No, I'm not. I'm giving an example of
Yeah.
really bad act.
Another example, he didn't make my mountain. He almost did. But as an example, Riddick.
Mm-hmm.
I know those movies aren't good, but I thought Riddick was a badass
Whoa,
fucking
wait,
character.
but the
Pitch
first
Black is
one was
good.
good.
Yeah,
Pitch
Pitch
Black
Black
was
is good.
Yeah, the other one's
But
the
it's a
one
very
that
different kind of movie.
But Riddick, to me, Riddick is because he's a smartass, not really a hero, but he is being the hero kind of situation. I like that. I kind of went. It's interesting that originally my list had a bunch of 80s and early 90s. Now it's kind of 180s and the rest are. There's like a couple in the 90s. There's one, my number 4. He's my favorite of this actor. And I have to talk about him because he's an amazing. But either way, I'll get to that.
But it's interesting. I think that the action movie kind of like died down like in the mid 90s, and I think PG-13 kind of watered down the action movie, and it isn't until the last couple of years, like I want to say maybe the last 5 or 6 years, that we've started to get really good like balls to the wall action movies like we had in the 80s and
Right.
the 90s. So I think that, you mentioned that, there's a couple of new guys out there now, guys like Jason Statham, guys like The Rock that are and Keanu Reeves coming out now again, that
resurgence.
are kind of breathing new life into the action movie where it doesn't even need to be a great action
Even older
movie.
guys like Liam Neeson.
Liam
doing
Neeson,
fucking,
yeah.
Liam Neeson and everything he's done since Schindler's List is an action movie. And Schindler's List is the only non-action movie, and then every other movie is exactly the same.
Which is the
thing.
one where his daughter gets kidnapped?
All of them.
Schindler's List.
All of them. Schindler's List. God, Jesus.
They're called the Nazis. But yeah, I mean, it's just I can appreciate different levels of action. I totally could have done a mountain of Indiana Jones, John McClane, like don't say it, but like Dutch, or John Matrix. Like I could do that mountain super easy.
Yeah.
But these are a little more. Even the one I know is already on somebody else's list, but I fucking love the
Who's
character.
John Matrix.
Shh. Go ahead, continue.
Oh my.
Sorry.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so I just went with that.
This is why you're an alternate.
I know.
This is why you're an alternate.
I have these guys know I have a list of about 20 that 3 of them are like big name folks. The rest are just random names.
Wait, in my defense, I probably know who it is. I just don't know the name of the guy.
I know you
Oh,
do.
for a fact.
I know
No,
you do.
Neri might be the only person that knows Michael Corbin, which is one of my super far honorable mentions.
See that
Oh
one?
yeah, he was one of my honorable mentions too.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, for real. You want to look at it?
Are we still talking about the list or?
No,
sorry. Anyway,
Because we're talking about
Who's
dicks.
talking
Oh,
about
man.
a list?
so go ahead.
Yeah,
I could take them off my
I
honorable
really
mentions.
went. It's funny because you start hanging around people a certain point, and you guys start thinking like each other. It's kind of like women with their periods, but dudes with logic. And 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 I had the same exact thought. I was like, we've been through 100 episodes. We've been through 99 episodes, and everybody knows how much I love Gladiator and Rocky and Braveheart. And I went out of my way to not pick those three. I was like, this is. I mean, we've talked ad nauseum. I've talked ad nauseum how much I love those movies and those characters. So it would be very easy for me to be like, yeah, of course, William Wallace and Maximus and and Rocky. So shit, I could have gotten Rocky and then Rocky from part 1 and Rocky from part 4. Very different characters. The story arch, I mean, honestly,
So,
it's just
so what he's trying to say is Creed.
Yeah,
is number 4.
Is that an action movie?
But I did. Which ones? Yes, they're all action movies.
Bro, it's all fights.
Yeah, well, not all fights. Part 1 and 2 are very dramatic movies.
No, Creed.
All Creed, yeah.
I mean, no, it's not all fights.
It's not all fights.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's a lot of training.
It's a lot of fighting.
It's a lot of training.
It's a lot of training for the fights.
They're doing a montage.
So I went with that same logic. Again, we usually, for those new listeners or those who don't remember, we try not to talk about our list before we start recording because we don't, we want to get that honest initial reaction from each other while we record. So yeah, but I had the same logic. I had the same thought. I'm like, I'm not going to talk about my favorites because it's been 100 episodes, man. We know they get it. Our listeners have understood that our love for those films. So for that, I made that self-imposed rule of no superheroes, and then at the last minute we threw in the no martial arts. It made it just easier to kind of like.
That did throw me off.
Yeah,
that did throw me off. But I mean, I had so many honorable mentions.
Right.
I just threw another person in there.
There you go. So and then we will come back with that episode. So that would be another episode that we talk about because for the most part we are huge fans of martial arts and or at least martial arts movies. I'm not doing that shit. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So that's how I made my selections. So
all right,
Chris Turfer, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is it's a character played by a lover.
Talking to the mic.
Who's also a fighter. It's the Robin Hood by Kevin Costner.
Oh, nice.
I loved that movie.
I legit love that movie. Yeah,
loved it. I still remember going to my uncle's house. He always had like the most updated thing. I mean, this fucker had laser discs in the 80s.
Laser what?
Laser discs.
Oh. He was in Tron. Yeah. He had a laser disc.
He had those like ginormous laser discs, and like he always had a huge like flat screen TV and all that shit. So he always that's what he liked to do, and that's where I saw it for the first time.
Right?
No. What's funny is that he wouldn't spend anything on anything else. Like he just
Roy Who?
Yeah, Roy Who.
But
shitty house, but fuck, what a living room.
Mírate tira flecha como está haciendo.
We're not putting down these people. They fucking lived in a trailer, and this guy had a legit like
Laserdisc studio.
Yeah, the man cave before it was there. But Robin Hood, you gotta love it, dude. It's freaking action all over the place. He's running everywhere. He's a fucking badass with the bow and arrow. It's kind of like Hawkeye before Hawkeye, where we were able to see that. And he's got his case.
He's better than Hawkeye because he doesn't need trick arrows. His arrows are honest.
That's true.
They fly true, not in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my 4. I mean, he's in there. He's fighting for it. He kind of, you see him mature as a character. Like you see where he was at, and what's crazy is once he meets like the Christian Slater character, who's kind of like constantly against him. Like, dude, what's wrong with this guy? What does he have? Why is he being such a dick to him? And then you see that the reason why he's turned into like a good person was all the shit that he had to go through to get him where he's at there. And this guy knew him before he actually had to transition through like the prison and the whole fucking thing. But I fucking love that movie.
Oh, right. He's fantastic.
Yeah, amazing.
Kevin Costner's fantastic.
He is.
He gets a lot of shit because of the non-English accent, and I never cared. I never cared. that he didn't
I would
have
rather
English
not
accent.
have the English accent because I can understand a goddamn thing Little John was saying. It's fucking confusing.
I love English accents.
I love English accents. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't need it for the movie. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
That was my introduction to Robin Hood.
so. It was yeah.
And so to me, like there was
Disney.
no
Disney.
no problem.
That was the Disney one.
I'm pretty sure I saw that even before the Disney one.
I agree.
No.
I'm with. I saw
So
that, yeah.
to me, that was Robin Hood, and in the Disney one, Robin Hood's English accent is very slight.
a little spotty.
You know,
Little spotty.
little spotty.
and not everyone in that movie speaks with an English accent either.
Yeah.
You know, particularly Little John. You know, fucking Baloo.
It was Baloo.
You know, yeah. So to me, that was Robin Hood, and you know those swashbuckling scenes were there. You know, and he was just as good with a rapier as he was with a bow and arrow. That he's a fucking awesome Robin Hood.
Yeah.
To me, when I think Robin Hood, I think Errol Flynn, but then I think
I don't know who Errol Flynn
Kevin
is.
He
Costner.
was like the original Robin.
Yeah,
Hood.
from like the 20s.
Jesus Christ.
Just like when you think of Sheriff of Nottingham, Alan Rickman.
Obviously.
Oscar Isaac is also really good.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was fantastic. So
So was the Sheriff of Rottingham.
Yes.
The Sheriff of Rottingham was awesome.
You did to kill a king's dad.
his mole kept moving.
yeah. No,
That was King Richard. Yeah, King
Prince,
Richard.
Prince John.
Prince John. That's right.
I'm getting really pissed off.
If I was that close to a horse's wiener, I'd be worried about getting pissed on.
What makes you any different than the other Robin Hoods? Because I, unlike the other Robin Hoods, have an English accent. Oh.
It's funny that I got that joke as an adult, not when I watched that movie.
So yeah.
So number 4, okay,
Great
cool.
pick.
Kevin Costner, Robin Hood. Dave,
Nice. My number 4 is actually the main character from the movie that kind of resparked my sort of faith in action movies, and it's Chev Chelios from Crank.
fantastic. He's so ridiculous.
That movie and its sequel,
Jason
even
Statham.
more so, is so crazy over the top, and the way that Statham plays him, because Statham is a very like understated guy. He delivers every line with the same sort of intensity until he's shouting at you.
Right.
And he goes from 0 to 60. There's no in between. He's either like really calm or all in your fucking face.
I'm gonna start in 11 and go up really fucking quick.
So, I think this may have been my introduction to. Because Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels came out before this. Yeah,
Way before. And Snatch.
and Snatch. That's right. So was not my introduction to him, but I remember seeing him because those two are more like thrillers. They're not necessarily. I mean, there's scenes of action in them, but this is the first time you saw him as an action star, and he's totally convincing. You know, he's got that look about him. He's muscular, right? But he's also thin. Like he doesn't look like a Schwarzenegger. He doesn't look like a Stallone.
He looks like he can do the stunts.
But he looks like he can do the stunts. And there are some crazy out of this world stunts that are being done in that movie.
And the acting that they make him do,
It's absurd.
it's just ridiculous.
And instead of like
in both of them.
right. Instead of thinking to himself, how can I make this realistic, right? Let me look at this character's motivation and all that. He leans into the absurdity and makes it so much better for it. It reminds me of the Commandos and the Action Jacksons of the 80s where it's like, this is absurd. Who would do this? No one. Enjoy it.
Right.
Go along with the ride.
Exactly.
Like driving the car through the shopping mall. The only other time I've seen that is in Blues Brothers, right?
Right.
And it ended much more ridiculously than Bruce Brothers.
And The Rock.
That's true.
Oh, in The Rock, you're right. Yeah.
And Beverly Hills Cop. But whatever. I mean, I'm sure it's still an original
You're right.
fucking scene.
No, you're
I'm
right.
sure it's
You're right. But does it end with the car slamming into the escalator and going up the escalator, and that's when he rides up the escalator?
Oh, you mean like in Green Hornet?
No, that jumps onto a different platform.
An elevator, and then it starts
Exactly.
hopping.
It's the fucking worst thing ever.
Wow.
Documentary.
Yeah.
The handstand on the motorcycle, the whole scene in the hospital, him running from the hospital and he's talking to Dwight Yoakam.
Him having straight up sex in the middle of the street.
Oh
to
my
fucking
God!
get his heart pumping again.
Everything he does in this movie.
That you're okay with, but Nicolas Cage fucking and killing at the same time, you're not okay with that. That's, I mean, whatever. I mean,
I said what I said. I said what I said. Yeah, Chev Chelios, man. I love him as a character.
Chev Chelios?
Chev Chelios.
He's an honorable man. He was an honorable mention, so I can take that off my list.
I've been waiting since 2009 for a sequel. I want Crank 3. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
It's called Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's called Hobbs and Shaw. It's coming out soon.
Hobbs and Shaw is coming out soon.
I don't like Fast and Furious, but I really want to see Hobbs and Shaw.
well, it's because they take away everything that's awful from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
They take away Vin Diesel and
and Gal Gadot.
and stupid streetcars.
Well, they took away Gal Gadot a while ago.
yeah, she's. And when she became Wonder Woman, she's like, okay, I'm out, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for the paycheck.
So yeah, there you go. That's my number 4.
What? Let me ask a question. How long is it that you can play a song before it gets blanked out?
7 seconds, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Facebook is weird. For those of you listening on Facebook right now, if you listen to us through iTunes or at geekbro.net, which is through Podbean, anywhere else but Facebook, you might not hear. It might go silent because Jeff is going to play music, but
I'm going to do it
everywhere
really quick,
else it doesn't play. It doesn't.
I'm going to do it really quick. So what, guys? When you
Smooth transition, Jeff.
when you go into the military, they tell you that your hands become registered deadly weapons.
Oh yes.
But then you come home and you're just defending your wife. And
I love this movie.
my pick is Cameron Poe.
Yes.
Tie
From
that
Con
bow
Air.
around that oak tree. And Daddy's coming home.
Fucking
That's a good one.
one of my favorite Nicolas Cage characters.
Leave
Yeah.
the bunny.
Bro, put the bunny back in the box. Why didn't you just put the bunny in the box? So, talk about a guy that's just pure heart.
Yeah.
Guy serves in the military.
Well, not pure. He's also a murderer, but
he
not
was
pure heart.
defending his wife.
Sure, but not to the death. Yeah, I mean, whatever. He got
Listen,
it. He got
it was like, what was it 3-on-1?
Yeah, it was 3-on-1.
You can't just shut that off.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, guys, he went to trial and lost a trial. He got convicted.
Yeah, because they considered him a deadly weapon.
Right.
Because of his training.
Right,
And he
right.
did not announce
You are a
himself.
soulless piece of
I'm
garbage.
not soulless. I'm saying you could have knocked him out and not killed him, not shoved the man's fucking nose into his brain. I don't know. Crazy idea. You've been trained for such combat.
Yeah, but when
how
Trained to
about?
be a cheerleader. You can't take that off.
Yeah.
Or a killer. I don't know what Chris just said.
You're right. You're tipsy, dude. It's the fucking alcohol.
No, I'm good actually.
Oh, okay. I
It's tired.
was trying to give you help, man.
So, he goes to jail. He does his
all
time.
downhill.
Good behavior.
Laser dicks and fucking laser dicks.
and Kernenberg. And then he's just taking a plane ride home, man. And then probably gonna be on my mountain of villains. Fucking Cyrus Grissom fucking takes over the fucking goddamn plane.
Cyrus the Virus.
I love your work.
Yeah.
Man, you did a Trump impression. That's hilarious. You didn't even mean to.
No. That was by John Malkovich.
Aside from the murder protecting his wife, he's legitimately a good guy. He
Yeah.
goes out of his way at the risk of not being able to get back home to his family to help his friend who needs insulin, to help the guard from fucking Danny Trejo.
Could have got out of his way to get a haircut, but I mean, other than
That mullet is glorious. You shut the fuck up.
It really is.
That is one hell of a
One
mullet.
thing that Cameron Poe has gifted
Listen.
the universe is the best gift ever
Listen.
of just him blowing in the wind.
when you have a receding hairline, you try to draw attention somewhere else. So that's exactly
You
what
realize
he
that was
doing.
the Superman hair, right?
Was
That
it?
was exact. Yes, if you look at the pictures of the Superman hair, it was basically that.
Oh my God.
When he was doing the Tim Burton thing, I just love the character. He has those cheesy one-liners, the really bad accent, but
What accent was? What was it?
It was like a
Louisiana.
southern accent.
it was supposed to be a Louisiana accent.
Yeah.
But it was just the fight scenes
Bobby
were
Boucher had a better
Yeah.
accent.
the fight scene like the fight
coach.
scenes were fun. The fight scenes were cool to me. Like
Oh, that was great. That movie was awesome. I saw it a year ago. It's fantastic.
I love him.
I like that movie unironically.
yeah, absolutely.
He's probably my favorite Nick Cage hero.
Oh, that's tough.
Stanley Goodspeed, man.
Yeah, I gotta go with Goodspeed.
But he doesn't have a mullet. And
no.
Goodspeed's not the best hero in that movie.
I mean, but that's not a knock on Goodspeed.
No, it's not.
No.
I'm saying that movie's
It
pretty
is,
amazing.
but
Movie's stacked with heroes. Hummel.
Stocks.
But yeah, I just love Cameron Poe. I think he's great. He's rocking the fucking jeans with the boots and the fucking wife beater. Just gets shot, keeps on walking.
Yeah.
They call them wife lovers now. I'm not lying.
really?
For real?
Yeah,
They call them wife lovers?
they started.
Wife beater?
Yeah, they started because wife beaters is not the nicest of terms.
Oh, bueno.
They call them wife lovers.
Okay, wife lovers. Sorry. So yeah,
I'm not making this up. This isn't me. It's like Chris is looking at me like he's disappointed in me. Like I'm the one that fucking had a meeting and go, guys, I got an idea. Wife lovers.
Why does she have two bad guys? Because I love her.
yeah. The door.
I was showing her my love.
But yeah, so Cameron Poe's my number 4.
Okay, Cameron.
Bird.
Poe, hold on. Give me a second.
That's your daddy. Bro, there's so many great characters in that movie. Fuck, Steve Buscemi as the crazy guy.
Buscemi's awesome.
Let me see
Define
here.
irony. A bunch of
Morons.
morons listening to a band that died in a plane crash.
My number 4 is Lieutenant Gabriel Cash from Tango and Cash.
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
Because I told him, I was like, I'm gonna put Tango. You put Cash.
Tango and Cash.
That's awesome.
Still a good movie. Good fuck.
yeah, man.
Still amazing. I would not have knocked the pick.
No. No, I was genuinely excited. You saw my eyes.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with the newest movie in my list. I'm gonna go with King Leonidas from 300.
Oh, that's a great
nice.
pick.
Yeah,
Honorable mention for me.
yeah.
So
Did you know that really happened?
Yeah,
No,
it did actually.
So you did go with a comic book one.
Is that a comic book?
yeah,
Yeah,
graphic novel.
it's adapted from the 300 graphic novel.
Oh,
by
okay.
Frank Miller.
I'll delete it. Hold on. I'll go back.
No, I mean if that's your pick, that's
because
your pick.
we gotta. But I didn't.
You want me to just pick for you the last one on my list?
No, it's that's my number 2. This guy's fucking.
Look, I know my people.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'll go with the newest character on my list is John Wick.
Table.
Nice.
So that to me the reason right. I was gonna say I don't
That's
know.
why you're a reserve.
No, but I didn't know. All I was gonna say is I didn't know if it was allowed because it's a weird form of martial arts, but not martial arts. It's what the people call gun fu, like GUN fu. Like
But I don't think it's as much gun fu as more tactical training,
right.
Yeah.
which we'll talk about.
Right, we'll talk about. But that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I wanted to say is I didn't know if
Equilibrium to me is more gun fu than John Wick is.
Okay.
For those that you haven't seen Equilibrium yet. So
Neither have
for
I.
those of you, that's right. Okay, sorry, but when you
I
see
get it,
Equilibrium,
All right, so
number
Is that
four.
with Christian Bale?
yes,
I did see that.
and Tay Diggs.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
So number 4 is Robin Hood, Chev Chelios, Cameron Poe, and John Wick.
Such a good fucking start.
Number 3,
Number 3 for me is it's another. I guess it was 80s. It's Rambo. John Rambo.
It's a great pick.
fantastic.
There's
I'm
nothing.
surprised that's not on your list.
Well, because he
Again,
went off the beaten path.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
I'm here for you guys so that I can be that token person putting all the picks that people think would have
You're
put.
so pretty.
You see, that's what he did.
But John Rambo's a fantastic
No, it's
character. John
amazing.
Rambo is one of them is so much a deeper character than people remember.
Yeah.
Because when people think of the Rambo movies, they think
of the bow and arrow shooting.
They think of the bow and arrows, and they think about the insane action, which is a thing to know. I mean, let's not sneeze at that. It's like when you think of Tarantino, and then people will go, "Oh, I think of Tarantino, and I think of crazy action." You go, "Absolutely, that's absolutely a thing," but it's also deeper. Like Tarantino's writing, his dialogue is phenomenal.
Right.
John Rambo's character is so deep.
Yeah.
The shit that he goes through,
Especially one.
the PTSD. The PTSD before PTSD was a thing. Back then they used to call it shell shock. And the shit that he goes through in part 1 and then in part 4 in the Rambo, it gets even deeper. And I think it's a fantastic. I mean, it's
that's
a great character.
It's not a knock at all. It's just we went off the beaten path, but Rambo's fucking easily on a mountain.
Each one is a stellar like character study.
Yeah.
And that's something that Stallone does that I don't think any of the other big action movie stars do, is that he's able to take a character and completely rip it apart and put it back together and understand every single reason.
In all fairness,
why
Stallone can do that because he could, and the others can't because Stallone can speak clear English.
Are we talking about the same Stallone?
In comparison to Arnold and Van Damme, he's a fucking English. He's
a linguist.
He's a speech pathologist. He's a fucking speech pathologist compared to those fucking guys. Jesus.
Well, and what's crazy about that movie is, growing up as a kid, you watch them, and you just think he's a meathead.
Yeah.
Like he's just out there, he's just killing things, he's doing his job, he's a pawn. They're using him to go in there, rescue, kill, whatever, and then come back.
Just take pictures, John.
Yeah.
Just take pictures. Sure, Jan.
Yeah.
And
With my knife in the throat. But I can
Finger
appreciate.
across
You watch
throat.
it as an adult, and you're like, "Holy fuck, this is an in-depth character."
Yeah.
I promise you 100% that I didn't understand. I probably growing when I was little didn't like the first Rambo because it was I more than I liked the other two
course.
because it was more over the top action.
growing up, it
now
was
you
two
tell
all the
me,
way.
yeah. Now you give me the option. It's one.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
I like all of them. I can't really choose. I mean, but they're very different movies. I
But you
definitely
get what I'm
agree.
saying, like,
yeah, I
they-
definitely agree.
They are very different, and I, for a long time, after discovering that one was, like, in my opinion, vastly superior to the others, I went back this summer and I rewatched all 4 of them back to back, and they're all really, really good.
Yeah, no, I remember telling you because you remember
Yeah.
you had this. Dave had this logic mentality. He was like, "Well, part 1 is," and I'm like, dude, you got to watch the other ones. I mean, it gets deep. He gets deep in all of them. Obviously, the majority of the movie in part 1 is him surviving, so it gets into more of a character study. And that last speech at the end of part 1 is brilliant,
it's, amazing.
But every one of the movies he gets very deep in. Like he gets it delves into a different part of that soldier mentality where it goes, part 1 is the PTSD, and part 2 he's just happy to, like, even if he's in prison, he's like, I feel like I'm good, like, you know what I mean? He doesn't trust himself to be out in the world, and they're like, nah, we need you.
And again, he's dragged back in.
Yeah.
And that speech when he attacks the fuck's his name, the bureaucrat guy, at the end of part 2, when he figures out that he was, like, left to die there.
Yeah.
Like, that's another great moving speech.
Yeah.
The one that really surprised me, because I remembered most of 2, was 3.
Yeah.
You see so much about what he stands for and what he believes in part 3.
Part 3 is when you watch part 3 now in today's political climate, it's like nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like
I gotta rewatch
that movie could be done right. You can watch that when you watch part 3 right now. You're like, oh, this was done about right now. This was done about 2015 or whatever.
I do remember that.
And it's it includes Soviets and it includes and you're like, oh, and it includes human trafficking. You're like, oh, this is done right now. This is about today's political climate. No, it was 20 years ago, but it's still the same.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I mean, John Rambo, man.
Yeah, he's
fantastic.
awesome.
I'm waiting for part 5. Part 5 is going to be amazing.
Yes.
He's got a cowboy hat.
I bought the last one, and I still haven't. I just haven't time, but
Have you not seen the last one?
I haven't seen the last one.
Oh wow.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Hey, before you go, I have a question. Do you have time, or do you have to check to see, make sure there's electricity at the rest of the parks for the dinosaurs?
So it's good.
Keep them
The
up.
dinosaurs.
How's Blue?
Do you need to get to the boat before the storm hits with the Barbasol can, or?
So weird. I checked his phone and it goes,
You didn't say the magic
I
word.
was like, hold on. Do everything you want to do. All right. So,
Dave's number 3.
Dave's number 3.
So, was that joke your best? Is that all you got?
Wow.
Because losers always whine about their best.
Oh, there he is.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
yeah.
Oh, Carlo was the prom queen. queen.
Yep. John Patrick Mason is my number 3.
So good. Honorable mention.
So this movie is the reason why whenever I start talking shit about Michael Bay.
Is it John Patrick
Mason, yeah. Whenever I start talking shit about Michael Bay, I stop myself and I'm like, he gave us The Rock. And that movie's so fucking good. And there are, as we kind of hinted at earlier, there's so many heroes in this movie. Not the least of which is Frank Hummel.
Yeah. I think Frank Hummel's a yeah, absolutely.
And the trolley guy.
The
trolley guy.
There are so many heroes in this movie. You just have to look at it from their perspective. And for me, he is like, it was great to see Connery. Ain't safe nowhere.
American hero.
I grew up as a kid watching the James Bond movies, and so to see him back in action, and like he was clearly an old man now, you know, and as he was in Indiana Jones 3, you know, but to see him, he didn't really kick ass in Indiana Jones 3. You know, he was awesome, he was funny, but he didn't kick ass. To see him kick ass in this movie was fucking awesome. He was back in like James Bond form. And that first scene where you finally see how dangerous he is when he's getting the haircut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he throws the. Oh my god! I remember thinking, yes, that's the Sean Connery I know.
I love it. It's like no. What was it? No scissors, only clippers.
Yeah.
And what was it that he said?
He says you can't cut his balls off with.
I can't cut his balls off with a pair of clippers now, can I?
You sure you're ready for this? I'll do my best. Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen.
I love that look he gives him. Well,
yeah.
This movie is so awesome. He's so cool throughout the whole movie. He never once loses his cool.
I love when he tells Hummel, personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking great. And he's like, sir. He's like,
sir.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But he's the one that talks sense into Hummel.
Yeah.
Like Hummel starts off with the greatest of intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And his anger led him astray.
Right.
And because of Mason is the one that brings it back to logic, and he's like, you know, this is, you know, not.
We've all lost soldiers. Yeah.
This is not the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the way to honor their memory, and it's because of him that Mason is saved ultimately at the end.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome movie.
I love it.
Awesome
I love
character.
I love his
From the
his
guy
character.
that brought you the Transformers movies.
Actually, you know, I've always said this.
was Michael Bay?
I really like that first Transformers movie. I like the third one. I'm so glad that Bumblebee changed it up. So
Okay. There's that.
So there you go. That's my number 3.
Good?
The Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
If you ask me and Dave, yeah.
I like it.
And you know everyone else.
I like it.
Except Neri.
I just said I like it. What else do you need?
You didn't say you liked it. You said it was meh.
No, I said it was.
I didn't even hear you say you liked it.
No, I said I like it. It's okay. Dave's gonna love it. That's how I presented the movie when we talked about it during the top 10. I said I liked it. I think it was okay, and I followed it up with other things like it's not the best in the series, blah blah blah. But I said I do like it, but I do know that Dave is gonna love it, and I said Dave is gonna cry.
Oh, I cried in the first 3 minutes. When you see Cybertron, the way Cybertron looked in the comics and the TV show.
I mean, Cybertron's been done in the franchise before.
Not like that.
Well, they haven't really focused on Cybertron before. They've done like quick, little flashbacks. They haven't done in depth
to see
Classic rock.
To see right. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on from this.
Sorry.
So you're number 3.
My number 3. Well, a lot of people think of a lot of characters when they think of this actor, but to me, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Harry Tasker.
It's great, man.
That's
True Lies.
Stephanie was thinking about submitting a list that was all woman, and I brought up Jamie Lee Curtis,
And
and it didn't even occur to me to use Tasker. Not that I would have, because I've talked so much about Schwarzenegger, but bro, this is one of his best fucking movies and one of his best roles.
to me, he's such a. This is one of the deep in a general depth character that he does, because he's a secret agent. He's the badass. He's the funny, like I said, that I like before, that charismatic, funny. Him and Tom Arnold, the back and forth that they have is amazing. But then he can be serious,
and he's convincing as a paper salesman.
Yes.
As I'm kind of like mousy, even though he's like 6'2" and like built like a fucking brick house, you know.
Yeah, and he's still when I think about Paper Salesman, it's him and and
Michael Scott.
And Michael Scott. Those are the two guys I think about.
But the way that but you look at the way he carries himself and the way he speaks when he's around his wife, and his daughter, and it's totally different.
He's like a nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, even his daughter, you know, she's just like,
my dad the loser.
Yeah, my dad's a loser. It's he's such a cool character. He's got those great lines. I just love, like, give me the goddamn page, and punches the window. Like, fucking what he does when he finds out that this guy's trying to fucking scam his wife.
Oh my god, I love that scene.
And he takes it.
I got a little dick.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
Hey, I'm pissing my pants, man.
What a secret agent pisses pants.
But it's just, I just think Harry Tasker, and he still gets the one-liners in.
Yeah,
the wink when he does when he's like, "You're fired," and he fucking launches the fucking cruise missile. Like, bro, it's just such a cool movie. The whole scene when he's fucking in the truth serum.
Oh yes,
that's like, did you kill people? Yes, but they were all bad. Like, it's just fucking such a great. To me, he covers the entire gambit of funny, serious, emotional. Everything is done in that. And I love Harry Tasker.
This is one of those movies that I like to throw in with Romancing the Stone and with The Princess Bride, where they sound like very different movies, because they are, but they're movies that have something for everyone to fall in love with.
Correct.
Where it's action, but it's also romance, it's also comedy, it's also adventure. There's all these things that are happening at the same time, to different varying degrees depending on what your preference is. But to me, those all fall under kind of like that umbrella of, this is a perfect movie to watch when you don't know what someone wants to watch,
right? Because
they'll find something to enjoy in it,
right? So my number 3 is Harry Tasker.
Fantastic. All right, so we got Harry Tasker. My number 3 is Max Walker from Time Cop.
Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
Christy, the splits.
Man, I have not seen Time Cop in many, many years.
Yeah.
Fuck I don't
that
think
movie.
I ever saw that.
Really?
What?
Time Cop is widely known as Van Damme's best movie, and I would only say I'd say it's only second to JCVD. I think it's his better movie. It's not fair to compare those two because they're very different films, kind of films. But JCVD is, I think, superior. But Time Cop was for decades my favorite Van Damme movie.
I think it might still be. I mean, as I get older, like we were watching Lionheart and like Bloodsport, like we can appreciate those, but fucking Time Cop was just cool. It had the sci-fi.
Time Cop was great. What made Time Cop a great Van Damme movie is that it didn't have to be Van Damme. It could have been anybody.
Correct.
Like, it was a phenomenal movie no matter who would have been in it. The fact that they added Van Damme was, to me, as growing up as a Van, I recorded every one of Van Damme's movies on VHS. I would record them. I would rent them and then transfer them over to a tape, and I would call it Neri's Movie Palooza, and Volume 1, 2, 3, and then they were all Van Damme. Yeah. There were never. It was like, this movie's great too. Yeah. Is it a Van Damme movie though? Yeah. Then it's not going to go in my fucking
it's
Movie
not
Palooza
material.
So, yeah.
Growing up, my friends, we all picked a different action star, and we would just focus on getting their DVDs.
Yeah.
And I picked Van Damme.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, dibs on Van Damme. And they were like, my buddy was like, what, Schwarzenegger? I go, no. I got Van Damme.
Yeah.
I'll do it. And I would go to fucking Walmart and get the 5-pack with the Quest,
Yeah.
and fucking and Sudden Death, and fucking like it was
Desert Eagle.
yeah,
Desert Eagle.
and
Purple fucking
Universal
tank top.
Soldier 7,
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was.
Electric.
I didn't really get turned on to Van Damme until I started hanging
false.
out
You
with
always
you
get
guys.
turned
Yeah,
on to
yeah.
Van Damme.
I mean, I was.
You can go to Eagle Video right now
Eagle video.
and get a fucking a JCVD 4-pack, and it would be phenomenal. Yeah.
Everyone is a Van Damme fan, but I always was. I was the Schwarzenegger guy. Like he was always like.
For you,
my
it was
guy.
like Bloods and Crips. You couldn't be both. Like you had to.
No,
pick
it's
one or
not.
the
It's
other.
not that you couldn't be both. It's that I always opted to buy a Schwarzenegger DVD, and when it came time to rent something at Blockbuster, I always wanted to rent another Schwarzenegger movie, or Stallone before getting to JCVD. So I saw his movies, but I would rent them once, and then I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then, all right, let me see Commando again.
Yeah.
You know, so
He clearly never saw Double Impact.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
No, that's no.
Which
bro.
is that one?
That's
Van
the one that
Damme.
Van Damme plays his own twin.
No.
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking about Double Team.
That's the one with.
Oh,
that's
Double
what-
Team.
That's the one with
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, not Wesley Snipes. Yeah.
Wow.
They all look the same.
Wow. Oh my God.
That sounded really racist.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
mean
yeah,
for
it
that to
did.
sound
It was
not at all.
Van Damme and Black Panther, and then
If you keep on like that, you're gonna get fired from the safari tours in Zimbabwe that you do.
Listen, the King of Zamunda and I are on really good terms. All right, it's cool.
how far do you think Zamunda is from Wakanda?
A lion's march.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought that movie recently.
So Time Cop is is one of my favorite Van Damme movies. It's a fantastic movie. Again, it has time travel. Anybody who's
It's
listened
probably.
to the show,
I might say it's probably the best overall storyline of any of the Van Damme movies.
I mean, again, it's a real movie that didn't need Van Damme, and I'm glad that it just had Van Damme included.
Right.
It was one of those things where you really could have put any actor in that movie.
I mean, they kind of did it with Jet Li when they did the one. Kind of. It's
Yeah.
wasn't time travel per se. It was
Not
between
exactly,
dimensions.
yeah.
between dimensions,
But it
and
was-
Time Cop came out first, but
Grant. Well, yeah,
But,
I know,
yeah.
but I'm just saying.
yeah, no, I'm saying, but it was fantastic. I'm upset in reading an article, an interview with him a year ago. He talked about that movie, and he was dealing with his demons then when he made Time Cop. So much so that when the studio Warner Brothers called him to do a part 2, like they wanted him to do a part 2, and he, in his own words, he said that he was such a greedy pig that I forget what actor he mentioned that was getting 20 million a film. He goes, okay, I want 20 million for the sequel, and they hung up on him and they never called him back, and that's it. That was the end of it. Like there wasn't no negotiation.
Right.
And he himself called himself a greedy pig. Like he was like, I was so greedy, I was such a greedy pig, blah blah. But he was like, he was doing coke every day. He was doing like a mountain of coke every day, and he was out of his fucking mind. And reading that a year ago, I resent him for that. Only because you cheated us, the fans, out of
Right.
very selfishly. Again, you were going through a hard time. Oh, fuck you! Fucking give me my sequel. That's all I fucking wanted. So, anyways, Max Walker, man, he's I love that movie. Love that fucking character. The sadness that he felt, he fucking felt that depression, and you felt this is one of very many movies that Van Damme played more than one character in the same movie. He plays twins a lot. Twinsies.
Twinsies.
Yeah.
A murder of Van Damme.
This one is he isn't. This one he isn't a twin. He's just different version of himself.
Right.
Anyways, all right. So that's where's my number?
That was number 3.
Where's my phone here? So that's my number 3. Then we got 3s. We got John Rambo, John Patrick Mason. I'm sorry, from The Rock, Harry Tasker from True Lies, and Max Walker from Time Cop. All right, number 2.
Number 2 is it's Indiana Jones for me.
God, I love you.
Here we go.
so hard right now.
I was wondering why you came dressed as him.
He's going to take time away from his busy schedule exploring King Tut's tomb to fucking help us with this.
Good one.
But you gotta love Indiana Jones, dude. He's a man's man. It's action. It's him running around and fighting people off, and it's just
Nazis, man.
Nazis.
Fighting
Fighting
fucking
people off.
Nazis.
Nazis and Indian folk that like to rip people's hearts out.
Yeah, saving,
and
saving the children.
saving the children.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't do any of that because of himself. Like he doesn't do any of that. Like that's like
It's a pussy, right?
It's no. It's kind of like what's that thing called when you do something and it's like
Ulterior motive.
no, it's an unwanted. Like it's just a happenstance that he happened to save children because he wasn't going out there to save children.
Right.
It happened to be that he saved children.
But he doesn't see them, and you see him feel like, fuck, what are they doing to these kids?
This is one of the reasons why I love Indiana Jones so much, because you see this growth in him, starting with Temple of Doom chronologically is the first one. It's in 1935. Raiders is 36, and then you have The Last Crusade, which is 1939, so it's a couple years later.
But why aren't we talking about Crystal Skull, guys?
And Crystal Skull,
why'd you skip that one?
Crystal Skull is 1957,
It's
I think.
It's 1950. Go fuck itself.
I didn't hate Crystal Skull. I gotta be honest.
I don't-
Your story checks out.
I don't,
here.
hate, I don't hate it either. I saw it again.
Yeah, no, it's different. He said it's better than fucking. Remember that one of the very first episodes?
Okay, I was trying to get a rise.
Yeah. He said it was better than.
No, it's definitely the worst of the bunch.
Clearly, he was cursed by King Tut.
But you
were you
see-
shaving when you when you were looking at the tomb?
Like Samson, I had lost my power. I had when Indy goes to the palace at Panko, he goes in there only for fortune and glory, right? And that's what he tells Short Round when he finds Papelito.
Yeah, fortune
right?
and glory kid.
Fortune and glory kid, right? It's one of the best lines. It defines who he is in that movie. Until as he's leaving with all three stones, not just the one stone that the village needs.
I thought there were
right?
6.
There's
No,
three
it's 3.
stones.
Oh,
Well,
there
they have 5. There's 5 stones. 2 are lost that they're digging for, and there's 3 inside the skull. Right? He hears the kids.
It's the Mind Stone, the Soul Stone, the Power
puts them all
Stone,
in
the
a
Time
glove.
Stone.
right.
I was gonna say the kidney
And
stone,
then
but that's
snap, and the job's a game.
Right.
So,
You hear what I said?
what'd you say?
I go the kidney stone, but I was like too real.
Yeah, it's so painful.
It didn't just fly out. Like,
No.
you know.
Oh, you passed it already?
No.
Oh, okay.
wow.
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, I wish.
Dave is in the process of passing kidney stones.
Yep, it sucks. So,
Sucks.
but yeah, he makes that decision
Right.
to fuck fortune and glory. I have to do the right thing here.
Her name was Fortune and Glory.
She was a showgirl.
It was 2 of them. They were twins.
They were
Ah,
twins.
there you go.
Fortune and Glory.
Yeah, and one was Van Damme, and the other was Van Damme. Yeah. Yeah.
Sign me up.
So, but
Sign me up.
You see that growth in his arc from there to Raiders, where he's a little bit more subdued, and then he really doesn't want to get involved at all in Last Crusade.
Yeah.
So it's
And in Crystal Skull, the fans wish he didn't get involved. So I mean, those it goes full circle, really. I mean, if you think about
With Shia LaBeouf.
He wasn't even bad. He wasn't even the bad part of that movie, dude. The aliens were the bad part of that movie. No, I think the monkeys were the bad part
Thank
of that movie.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
the monkeys.
Yeah.
And the refrigerator was the bad part of that movie.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And the ants.
The ants.
The ants weren't even bad.
I didn't mind the ant part.
I didn't mind the ant part. The
compared
monkeys
to the
were
other
fucking
things?
stupid.
The monkeys were stupid.
Look, I thought before I saw the movie, I knew about the refrigerator, and I thought that was gonna be my bigger issue. And then I saw the fucking movie, and then I was like, "Oh, why is nobody making fun of these monkeys more than they are?" And like the refrigerator doesn't. I mean, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong, but the monkey thing really takes you out of the.
Now
fucking
the
movie.
science behind the lead and the atomic, the fallout sound.
Undeniable.
However,
Right.
being blasted,
Undeniable. Nuclear blast. Totally get into the fucking fridge. You're fine.
I'm just talking about the radiation,
Of course.
the fallout.
Right.
But-
Right. So Indiana Jones is your number 2.
Yeah.
All right. Dave.
My number 2, and I may be the only one here who's a fan of this guy, but
Chuck Norris. Please God say Chuck Norris.
it's not Chuck Norris actually. No, and I know I'm the only one here who's a Chuck
Because I
Norris.
was gonna be like
It's
Chris's
Chuck Norro.
grandmother.
It's Chuck Norro.
Chonoro.
It's the only way I'm saying his name from now on. No, it's Paul Kersey from the Death Wish series.
He called it.
Chuck,
you.
you called?
I
you
called
called it?
He
Yeah.
didn't say Paul Kersey. He said
It's
this.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah, Charles Bronson.
Bronson.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Paul
No,
Kersey.
I didn't know that. I'm not going to pretend like I knew the name of the guy
No.
from Death Wish, but I said
this
Charles
is-
Bronson in Death
in
Wish.
Death
This
Wish.
is why I'm saying, Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Charles Bronson.
What's
his name?
Charles
Bronson.
Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
Paul
Eli
Kersey.
Chonori.
Chonoro.
Yeah, Kersey. Kersey.
That's right. That's actually the same character name in the new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because it's a remake, and actually
it was really good. I
He was
really
awful.
liked
Who's
the
in it?
remake.
McLean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now I'm with you.
Bruce Willis.
He was the
Bruce Willis was the worst part of that movie.
everything else
And
was
I mean,
fantastic.
everything else was fantastic. Bruce
Yeah.
Willis phoned that in.
Yeah, big
like
time.
I've never seen an actor phone in a fucking part in my life, dude. I was watching that movie like this movie's and the fucking kill scenes were amazing. Movie was legit, actually not bad. And then every time they had him in, which was every scene, I was like, fucking hell, here we go again. This guy, fucking, what are you working?
I
for
have
you?
one death wish.
Yeah, you fucking working for AT&T? You calling this bitch in, motherfucker? Jesus! Sponsored by AT&T and Verizon. Can you hear me calling this shit in? Can you hear me now? Jesus.
do you get bad movies in Jumanji?
That's all we get.
So good.
They're all bad movies, and they're all pre 1987. So when I come here, I go, "What year is it?" Yeah,
I'm done, guys. I think I tapped myself out with the Jumanji one.
And scene.
like George Costanza. I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. The Death Wish series, it starts very very seriously. That first Death Wish is an intense character study where you see a man succumb to his like baser instincts and see what it does to him. One of the things that they left out of the remake, which is I think one of those brilliant things about Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson always took himself seriously in every movie that he did, no matter how ridiculous. And that was part of what made him so fantastic in those ridiculous movies.
Because that's Charles Bronson.
Because that's Charles Bronson. There's a scene, the very first time that he kills someone in a park. There's a mugging, and he kills the guy, and he runs up these stairs, and he stops, and he throws up because of what he's just done. You see the way that he was before. He was this very liberal, like, I'm not going down this road sort of thing. I'm going to go through the proper channels. Not a gun owning, like, he's not an NRA sort of guy.
Right.
And then slowly he starts turning into this, I have to take the law into my own hands because the law's not doing it for me.
Right.
And you do see that in the remake, but I think that Bronson played that role so straight and so well. Like, he got the subtlety of it.
If he didn't phone it in, then he did a better job.
Oh, no, for sure he
And
did a
that's
better
how-
job.
yeah.
But I also am a huge Bronson fan, so I'm going to say that no matter what.
Is that the one with all the rape?
Yes, it's the one
part
with all
two.
the rape. Part 2 has the more intense rape scene, but part 1 is always the one that people talk about.
They're both
So,
rapey.
very rapey. They dropped the rape for parts 3 and 4.
And the remake.
Right. But here's the thing. So Death Wish 1 comes out in like the early mid-70s. I think it's 1974. There's no Death Wish 2 until 1982. So all this time passes. The way action movies are made passes, right? And then you get the over-the-top action movie.
Right.
And as the series goes on into 2, 3, and 4, and each one gets more ridiculous than the other.
Nice.
And Bronson only gets older and more ridiculous looking in those scenarios. You see how absurd it is for this old man to be so serious about vigilantism,
Right.
and that's what makes it work. It's like how Adam West played Batman as a very serious character in these absolutely absurd scenarios, right? It was part of the humor of the show,
Right.
Right? If you understand that about the show, it's funny. It's ridiculously funny, and that's part of what makes Paul Kersey so awesome to me. Is you see him and he clearly stands for this. Like, vigilantism is a part of his life, and by the time like part 4 comes around, like, he's accepted this. He's just like, this is who I am. Like, I'm not an engineer anymore. This is just me, and it's fantastic. 3 and 4 are like far and away my favorites in the series because it's so he wages war on a whole like neighborhood in Brooklyn in part 3, and part 4 he takes on drugs, all the drugs. He takes on all the drugs, and the final scene is a shootout in a
Arcade.
in a roller rink / video arcade. I always talk about this. I fucking love it. So 80s.
I'm glad he's not talking about stuff he's talked about before.
No, he hasn't. Yeah, this one he's only talked about once, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So,
Well, I can't.
Hey,
argue, 'cause
how
my
was
number 2 is kind of.
how was Sher Khan in real life? Is he as mean in real life as he is in the film?
Shere Khan.
Because you look like Baloo and Tailspin. Link's kick Cloud Kicker. And his stuff's King Louie. No, I'm just kidding.
oh, yo.
All right. You done
That's
with
it.
this?
No, I'm good, man.
So, did you finally find a cure for cancer when you were in medicine, man? Did you find?
Hey, I have a question. You just reminded me of. Oh.
Pull up the picture of the cover for Medicine Man.
Hang on a second. Let me unbutton a little
How
bit
long
more,
did it
show off
take
that
you?
chest
How
there.
long did it take you to get near the gorillas to study them in the mist? A long time.
Hey, was Stifler cool when you met him in the rundown?
Are you just looking for?
No. I'm just like thinking of jungle movies now. I'm like,
Oh, all right. So my number 2.
Hey, you know when you can make fun of the way I dress? Anytime.
My number 2 is goes with the sarcastic, smartass anti-hero. I've mentioned him before, but I'm mentioning him again, and it's Jack Burton.
You called it, Neri?
Yeah, he knows I love that. He knows I love Jack Burton.
This movie's fantastic.
Big Trouble in Little.
that's what I said. I thought your number 1 would be Jack Burton.
No.
Yeah. So
It was actually my number 3, and he moved up to my number 2. I've said it on this podcast numerous times that I love Big Trouble in Little China. I think it's a fucking fun movie. It's a cool movie, and Kurt Russell in pretty much almost all the stuff he does, I just love his attitude, his personality, what it is, and him as Jack Burton. That's one of the reasons, even though The Rock was supposed to be the new Jack Burton, I didn't want anybody else to be Jack Burton in the remake.
is he still not going to do it?
I thought that they hadn't mentioned anything else about it.
Well, it's probably because he has 27 films.
That's true. Yeah, Rampage 2, Electric Boogaloo's coming out.
Yeah.
Jack Burton's just thrust into the situation. He's just a truck driver. He's just a fucking average truck driver who likes Chinese food, and gets thrust into this mystical fucking world with sorcerers and people that blow up for no reason. Am I wrong?
Nah, man. This movie's ridiculous, and it's all the much better.
It's
for
over
it.
the top of
it's
the
still in production.
Oh,
Big
okay.
Trouble in Little China.
But it's just Jack Burton. He's got that. He's suave.
Yeah.
He's just funny. He has.
I keep hearing it's The Rock. I'm just every description you keep throwing out there. I'm like, no, it's The Rock.
Even though he's the
Delicious.
anti-hero. Yeah.
All he wants is his truck back.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all he wants, and he ends up finding.
Oh, and pussy. He never wants that Kim Cattrall pussy.
I mean,
bro,
Can you blame
Yeah.
him?
that 20-year-old boy.
yeah,
Kim
but
Cattrall
yeah,
in
I
her
just
prime, dude.
I'm not going to harp on Jack Burton that much because I've talked about him before, but I can't put an action hero thing without him because that's one of my favorite characters Kurt Russell's done.
He can basically play any role. And
I
I'm
think
in.
so.
I'm
Yeah.
in. We could do a Kurt Russell Mountain.
Kurt Russell's legit.
He's even great. He's one of the best parts of the Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah. He doesn't know. He hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I
But,
stopped watching.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt Russell's in one
Nobody
of the
blames
Fast
you.
and
Nobody
Kurt
blames
Russell's in one of the Fast and the Furious movies.
Two.
Like 3 of them.
2 or
He's in
3.
the
No,
last
in the
one, too?
later ones.
The last
In
two.
The last ones. Because he's the reason Hobbs and Shaw.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I saw this movie recently again, and it was. I mean, it's still great. It's still.
Yeah, I was surprised how well it held up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the reflexes.
But it's fucking John Carpenter, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna watch any of his movies and it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
No matter
well,
how
I
many
mean,
times
you
it's
know,
passed.
we saw They Live recently.
No, man.
How fucking dare you?
I showed him They Live for the first time. He hadn't seen it before.
I
me.
hadn't seen it and I loved it.
What?
And he hadn't seen it.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
A year and a half ago, we did a Mystery Rubro Theater to
I
it.
think it was longer than that. It was like almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, and he had never seen it, and go back to listen to the episode. His reaction now is a lot more favorable than it was then. So
It's grown in my
One
estimation.
of my favorite things I have hanging in my room is the poster I got before Piper died of Piper, signed by Carpenter, Piper, Meg Foster. I just need the black guy. I forgot his name.
The Black.
Wesley
I'm not gonna
Snipes.
call him somebody else.
Wesley Snipes.
Like what you do.
Call back.
Snipes.
But yeah, so Jack Burton. That's my number 2.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome pick, man.
Thank you.
Sweet. My number 2 is somebody that I've talked about briefly before. I think at least I've talked about the movie before, and not gonna bore people with my love affair with him, but it's John Matrix from Commando.
I fucking love this movie. Fucking love this movie.
Love the movie, love him, love the character.
Great one-liners.
Great one-liners.
The
Great
best one-liners, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, anything with Arnold really has one line.
Yeah, he's known for that.
That's
his one-liners are amazing.
But I mean, I just love everything about this movie. From the opening shot when he's chopping down a tree and then carries it on his fucking shoulder. As how else would Arnold not? You know what I mean? Yeah, he's the fucking crew of one. You know, and
Which is not unlike the telephone booth.
yeah.
That he carries over his fucking shoulder
Yeah.
and throws down a flight of stairs.
Absolutely, he's so fucking like the whole thing. The fact that he smells them downwind.
Yeah. You can smell them. I did.
Yeah, he goes. What do you want me to do? Smell him? He goes. I did. And, you know, he's like, oh, the wind is blowing from northeast or whatever the fuck. And
Make
then
sure you
like,
stay downwind.
Make sure you stay downwind. He's like, he's like, what do you want me to smell him? And he's like, I did. Like that's how he fucking knew they were coming. And I mean, that's the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And it just gets better and better after that. That mall scene at the Galleria was
It's a great scene.
I would say I know the Terminator 2 has a great scene in that same mall, but as far as
Is
actually,
it the same mall?
it's the same mall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it looks exactly.
It's the
exactly
Galleria
same.
Mall.
It's the Galleria Mall that they've since remodeled and redone. It no longer looks like that. But in from those two movies, which were like 10, 15 years apart, there was the same mall.
I don't think it was that long because Commando was 85 and Terminator 2 was 91.
Okay, so maybe you're right. Yeah. So
Probably looked the same.
yeah, and but it says, but going back to my original, what I was gonna say is, from Commando, that is the greatest mall scene in an action movie. I just, and I'm sure there's a thousand. Oh, you know what's also the same mall? Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Also the Galleria Mall in LA. So, but as far as action scenes in a mall, I'm hard pressed to remember another one
Right,
as
fucking
that I love.
swings on a fucking balloon banner thing. What the fuck is that?
Police Story.
Oh yeah, no, Police Story, serious.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Well, but we're not doing martial arts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love this movie. I
But
love.
yeah, no, that's the greatest.
Yeah.
Fucking fighting with a motorcycle, man. Are you kidding me?
But
Jesus.
I love Commando. I love the
Don't
name.
piense, don't piense.
The fucking name John Matrix is so fucking great, man. I you know, everything about that movie is fantastic. You know, and I talked about before as a kid replaying that scene where he's, you know, suiting up in my backyard a million times, and you know, I mimed the whole thing. So I'm not gonna bore everybody with those stories again. But I just love that movie. Was such a part of my childhood. It's that and really like Rocky 3 and 4. Really like if you think about when I think about my childhood, I think about movies, and those are the movies that I think about, and it's fucking it holds a close place to my heart, and the fact that I watched them years and decades later and I still love them is to me is
I found that because I hadn't seen Commando in many years. I watched it a lot as a kid, and I had, I guess, for Schwarzenegger, focused so much on like the Terminator and Predator and Conan, and I had kind of lost touch with Commando, and then with us talking about Commando so much over these 100 episodes, I've kind of gone back and rediscovered it. It has definitely moved up, for me, to become like my second or third favorite Schwarzenegger movie.
I mean,
and for me, I think that's my favorite Schwarzenegger character now.
Yeah, John Matrix is so good, man.
He's so awesome. He's so cool.
They were gonna do a sequel, right? And then that's how Die Hard became a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Die Hard it started off as a sequel to, because of who wrote the story. It's a sequel to this old 1960s like action thriller starring Frank Sinatra.
Right.
A movie called The Detective. And so they had to offer the role to Sinatra, who was by contract, who was like 80 something at the time. And they wrote it as a straight up action movie, 80s style action movie. He knew that they offered it to him only out of contract. He's like, guys, I'm not going to do this. So the whole time they were thinking this is going to be Commando 2. And Schwarzenegger passed on it. He was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else.
Fuck a sucker.
At that point, he had never done a sequel. No, that's not true because he did Conan. He did Conan. Yeah.
He's just, dude. You know, when you're an actor, when you're an artist, you get into a mode. You don't want to do it for whatever fucking reason. Whatever the reason. It's always silly to me to think, he didn't do that one, but he did Twins.
Right.
And all right,
what's the problem?
I love Twins, but I'm just saying, like,
you're gonna compare Twins to
Commando,
to Die Hard?
and I get what from an artist point of view. You want to go?
No.
I want to stretch. I want to challenge myself and stretch my. But you also did Junior. So I mean,
no argument here.
But they were. I mean, they were able to rewrite Die Hard so that someone could fit through. Like air vents. Like Die Hard works because of that.
Right.
So I think Die Hard is better for not having Schwarzenegger in it. Whatever it would have been as Commando 2 would have been fantastic, I'm sure. But
I would have loved to have seen John Matrix in an urban setting.
Yeah,
in the building. So
would have been great.
All right, so that's John Matrix is my number 2. Okay. So for number 2s we have Indiana Jones. Even though I put Indian Jones.
So did Chris this morning.
Indiana Jones, Paul Kersey from Death Wish, Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China, and John Matrix from Commando.
All right, I have Geekmore.
All right.
So honorable mentions from online. Missy has from 4 to 1 Katniss. The Bride, a.k.a. Beatrix Kiddo, Jason Bourne, and William Wallace as her number 1. Honorable mentions, Benjamin Martin. So I
will say that I don't think The Bride should be allowed because she may be the hero of her story, but she was a contract killer.
Yeah. Stone cold fucking killer.
Yeah, she
driving the pussy wagon.
She wasn't like a good guy. She was a murderer that just happened to fall in love and wanted to quit the game, but that wasn't making her a good guy. Like, she did nothing redeemable to like redeem herself from the contract killings that she did before. Like, we didn't see it anyway.
Also, Missy obviously wouldn't have known this because we didn't decide this until now, but I mean,
the martial arts
Kiddo's martial arts.
Right. But anyways, besides the point, I don't think she's a hero, but go ahead.
All right, and then Jemiah.
But she's a woman, so that obviously had to be on Missy's list for that reason.
So Jemiah has Beatrice Kiddo, John McClane, John Wick, and John Rambo. Honorable mentions to Riggs, T-1000, RoboCop, and Rip Hulk Hogan.
Well, so he has John McClane,
John Wick, John Rambo, and then Beatrice Kiddo.
One of these things is not like the other. He could have had one more John in there, dude.
The John Mountain.
He could have had the John Mountain. So close.
Alex Suarez has from 4 to 1 James Bond, Wolverine, Harry Callahan, and John Wick. Honorable mentions to Batman, Rambo, John McClane, and Terminator.
Great job with Harry Callahan, by the way.
Who's Harry Callahan?
Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he thought that he was going to be on your list, and I go, nah, he's not going to make it.
He is an honorable mention for me. I have like a whole bunch of honorable mentions, and it's one of them.
Carlos Navarrete has 4 to 1 John McClane, Tequila from the John Woo movies. That's a great pick. Ethan Hunt and John Wick. Honorable mentions to Rambo, T-800 from T2, Frank Dukes from Bloodsport, and Beatrix Kiddo and Neo.
Mm-hmm. Good list.
And that's everybody from Geekmore.
Yeah, I don't think I had any on my
There was
page.
somebody on Instagram.
Johnny Dangle had one, I think.
Was it Dangle?
Yeah, it was Johnny Dangle. He had a good list too.
You got it? Or
no, I wasn't looking at it.
All right, I'll look for it. Oh yeah. Oh wait, there's a few. Let's see. That's Alejandro? Is that Dan?
No, it says Johnny Dangle.
No, then this isn't it. There's other ones.
Okay. From Instagram. I'm looking at Twitter. I'm sorry.
no,
I'm thinking of Twitter. I'm sorry.
Alejandro Matt has from 4 to 1 Black Dynamite. Awesome. 3 Terminator, Judgment Day. 2 James Bond. 1 Indiana Jones. And he says Connery all day. Thunderball. The Brian Conran has from 4 to 1 The Terminator, Frank Martin, John Wick, and The Bride, Black Mamba. Honorable mention to Wolverine. A lot of people with Beatrice Kiddo.
Yeah. She's legit, man.
Yeah.
Johnny Dangle on Twitter had John Rambo, Snake Plissken, Indiana Jones, and Leroy Green.
Leroy Green. Yeah. Who's the Bruce Leroy?
Got it.
Last track. Yeah.
All right.
So what's your honorable mentions, Chris?
William Wallace, John McClane, Dutch from The Predator, and Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Nice. You already mentioned Michael Corbin, so I'll take him
those
off.
of you who don't know who Michael Corbin is, if looks could kill,
You got to watch If Looks Could Kill.
Fucking love. Yeah, good luck finding it.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I have it on VHS. That's the only way I could find it.
I'm gonna go.
I think they have it on DVD, but it's
they
like
do.
$20 for the
Yeah,
fucking
I'll
DVD.
fucking buy that for
For-
20 bucks. I love that movie. You underestimate how much I love that movie.
I'm not understanding. $20 for a DVD. I'm not doing. I'll do $20 for a digital, but
I am the French teacher. You are the French teacher. I understand.
So I'm gonna go Zatoichi from the Zatoichi films.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Action Jackson,
Nice.
which I saw this again for the first time in so many years. Just recently, I want to say it was like maybe 2 months ago, and holy balls, this movie is so over the top. I fucking love it. Bradley Thomas, which is Vince Vaughn's character from Brawl and Cell Block 99.
Oh, that movie's fucking cool.
That movie's fucking crazy. And
I saw like an hour. I saw up until he gets to the boat. So I'm assuming he's gonna do the crime that gets him in cell block, because the fucking first half of the movie he's not in jail yet. So I'm like, what
No.
the fuck is he in jail? Jesus Christ!
it's a slow burn.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really slow. It's like a 70s style action movie. But the fucking fight scenes are brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm.
You should finish watching them, man.
I should. I meant to. It was
yeah.
never a thing. I was just like, oh,
If you enjoyed Bone Tomahawk, I think that you'll
I
enjoy the rest of it.
thoroughly love him.
I didn't like
you
it
know,
as
I still haven't watched it.
Yeah. I'm proud to say that this is I'm the one that brought this to this
You
group.
are, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was like a really.
Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I didn't like Brawl and Cell Block 99 as much as I liked Bone Tomahawk.
That's
but
different.
yeah, they're different.
One
but,
of them had hats,
but they're
and
they're similar in that it's like it's a very slow burn, but the payoff is so good. And then I'll cap it off with a fourth. I'm gonna go. Should I give you the Harry Callahan? No, I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm gonna go Wesley from The Princess Bride.
okay, more an adventure movie than action, but okay, sure.
Okay, in that case,
That's why I'm
then
not- that's why I'm not putting
in
it.
that case, then I will go Harry Callahan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go John Spartan from Demolition Man.
Oh, that's a
I'm
good
going to go
one.
Great
Celine from the Underworld series.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to go with El Mariachi from the Desperado movies.
Great.
And for my out of complete left field, I'm going with Charlie Baltimore.
Charlie Baltimore.
That is Gina Davis in The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh man,
I fucking
Oh, that's a
love that fucking
good
movie.
one.
nice.
I love that fucking movie.
That's
is
a
a good
good
one.
one.
I'm gonna go Casey Ryback from Under Siege. I'm gonna go with William Wallace from Braveheart, and I'm gonna go with Ares from John Wick 2.
Is that a common?
No,
Which one was
it's a
Ares?
chick.
Oh, okay.
Ruby Rose,
Oh, yeah.
She was awesome.
the mute.
Is she a hero, though?
Oh, she wasn't it?
No, she was a
No, she's a bad guy.
Yeah. I forgot that was a thing. Yeah, sorry. Hold on. She was my hero because she was a woman that was quiet. So I was just like,
Just put Corbin.
I'm just joking. don't.
Just
Also, we said nothing mythical.
Just put Corbin down.
Corbin Dallas multipass.
Put Corbin Dallas multipass.
Yeah.
Or
You know,
Lilo.
I gotta be honest with you. After watching his Death Wish, I don't want to put anything that has him in the fucking movie anymore. Like he's made me hate the rest of his catalog just in that one fucking performance.
He's so good.
and everything.
But it's so bad in that one movie.
Yeah, no, it is bad. It is.
Anyways, so yeah, that's my number mentions. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
All right.
Number ones.
Number ones.
Chris?
Christopher.
My number one we can talk about now is
Your
John Wick.
And that's my number one.
Yep. You can.
No, you start.
I feel you're more versed in the movie.
I've only seen it like 75 times. The first one.
I came late to the John Wick party and
I did too.
I saw
Wasn't it? Was it me that told you,
may
to watch
you
it?
may have recommended it.
Because you had said you hadn't seen it. I'm like, how have you not seen it, Mr. Gunnut?
Yes. So I thought that was really fucking cool. But yeah, he does a little bit of the, it's tactical and it's got a little bit of the fighting part of it. And
The thing with John Wick is he goes completely opposite of what I said at the beginning of the character that's the smart ass that's the not the anti-hero. He was a hitman.
Yeah.
He was very much like Beatrix Kiddo. He was a hitman, but he had scruples.
But we don't know. The thing is, from Beatrix Kiddo, it's established that they were not good. They killed innocent people.
Right.
We don't know John Wick being a hitman. Yes, it's a hitman, but we don't know what kind of. There are hitmen that only, like example, the Hitman's Bodyguard. Samuel Jackson played a hitman who only killed bad people.
Right.
So we don't know from John Wick, because it's such a mystery. We don't know what kind of hitman he was.
It's entirely possible that he could have killed only other mobsters.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, don't they call him? What was it, Baba Ganoush?
Baba Yaga, bro.
Baba Yaga, which is the boogeyman killer, no?
No,
he is the boogeyman.
Yeah, they go. No, he's who you call when you want the boogeyman dead.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he
So
says.
he's a boogeyman
That's
killer.
one of my favorite interactions in fucking movies. When
But
he
I
says
think
that.
from
It's a
that
great
you
thing.
take
stole his fucking car.
But from that, I think you kind of infer that he's who they would call when they wanted other super bad people dead.
Yeah.
The thing is, you never get from the two movies that he does any type of thing that's not
Irreprehensible.
right.
Right.
Like he has scruples. He has a set of rules and a set of guidelines. The only time he breaks these rules are when he is personally attacked. Even though he's retired and he wants to just be left alone, he gets personally attacked.
Well, it seems like the whole Assassin's Guild very much follows rules. Like
Correct.
They're into dotting their I's and crossing their T's and making sure that they're very meticulous.
Right. You can't do this. You can't do that. You have to be the
Yeah.
So
The AAU, the American Assassin's Guild.
so
Have you paid your
AG,
dues?
yeah.
Have you paid your dues?
there's something to say about the fact that he's not the typical person that I he said at the beginning that I would go for, but he's my number one because there's something about him, even though he doesn't really say a lot throughout the entire movie.
Which is why it's Keanu's best role.
I mean, Johnny Utah, but we can go on. No, I'm just kidding. No, John Wick is.
You know what? I almost put forget his name, but from Speed. I thought he was fantastic in Speed.
Yeah, I mean, you can remember his name, so
That's
there he goes.
clearly how great he is. How great the character
That guy
is.
from Speed with the shaved head that drove the bus.
I don't remember the name of his character in John Wick, but he was great in that one too.
Oh man, that was good.
Neri's the one that turned me on to John Wick. Much later than.
When Wick 2 was coming out.
Yeah.
Got it.
But there's just something so cool, especially the fact of the fighting styles that he does, and like it's this close combat, but it's very tactical, but it's also still kind of sloppy in a sense of, he's not. It's not like these other action guys that a lot of times they don't get touched.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Steven Seagal.
Right.
That 80 guys come at him and he's just tossing everybody and doesn't get touched in the face.
No, this guy gets his ass
He
beat.
gets his ass. He comes out of it just as hurt. The fight that he has with Common. In the
it's
second
one of my
one
favorite, man.
is fucking one of the best fights that he has in the two movies so far.
Yeah.
It's so he's not this superhuman. He's known as the Baba Yaga. Like he's has this up bigger than life persona, but he's still this. For the most part, he's just a guy that was wronged and is trying to make it right and cross all the T's to make everything even again. And I love the character. I love even though he doesn't speak a lot, you feel his angst. You see his suffering. You see I just love the character.
And the one cool thing, I mean, with the whole gun nut thing, but I've been watching a lot of like the training videos and stuff like that, and just because I mean it's interesting to me. If you're gonna own a gun, it'd be a good idea to train for it and know exactly how to use it. But the way he enters the room, what he does, the way he shoots, his stance, the way he holds it, a lot of stuff is very trained. Like
he's an actual tactician. He knows how to handle a firearm.
Well, he trains with it's I think Terran Tactical. Which they make their own like magazine bases, shit like that. But there's videos of him on their courses actually going the motions, like trying to be accurate with the speed, like being timed to do all that stuff, and that just gives more
credibility
to
Validity.
what the character is,
Validity.
Yeah.
I can't speak today.
That's a made up word.
Neri can't speak when
that works.
when he's anywhere.
It's true.
Normally.
But yeah, so I mean, I think, and it's like you were saying, brings back to the golden age of action movies where it's just the bloodshed and the fucking pure just craziness of what an action movie is supposed to be.
Well, it's my only recent movie from my list.
Right.
Yeah, so mine as well. Yeah, that's what thing I said, the most recent movie.
And what I like about like the John Wicks and the Atomic Blondes and these movies that are coming out now, and you see this also, I think, in Winter Soldier and in Civil War, is this intense hand-to-hand combat that you mixed with all of the weaponry and all this that previously action movies were either, it was gunplay, explosions and all that, or it was like martial arts. It was like the whole, the Bruce Lee side of stuff. And Jackie Chan kind of combined that a little bit, but really it was mostly just martial arts. There were some guns that were fired, but nothing that was a combination of those two things.
Right.
John Wick kind of finds a way of combining these things, and there's no flair like martial arts. It's all like gritty. It's all business. It's all business. It's all like what is the quickest way to take you down?
Yeah.
And it's not pretty to watch. It's impressive. It's impressive. You watch, you're like, fuck, that's crazy. But it doesn't. It's weird because to me it doesn't look like martial art.
Right.
It just looks like the martial aspect of it. Like this is killing.
It's martial efficient.
Right. There you go. Yeah. So fuck.
Yeah,
John
that's
Wick's a
great.
pick.
Great movie.
Dave?
My number one is Sarah Connor.
Oh wow, you went with all right.
She is.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Amy
Amy?
The gorilla
from the Congo. I figured that you would.
Stop eating my sesame cake.
I figured that would be close to your heart.
You'll be in my heart. Dude, Sarah Connor is so
Amy,
fucking
love
badass.
Amy love banana.
She's
it's actually terrible for them.
Is it?
Yeah,
Bananas are terrible for
gorillas and monkeys. They
it's a high sugar.
They get diabetes and shit.
Well, if you feed them that many,
Well, I know, but you think monkey, gorilla, the banana is the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. I like the fact that Jeff is Googling this like, I don't believe you. I love the fact that when people go, I'm eating a fruit. I'm like, yeah, but you picked that fruit.
Did you find that in your research?
Yeah. Dave, banana has 22 grams of sugar. And it's natural sugar, but it's still sugar. People don't understand that. It's if you eat a banana, you should be working out that day.
Yeah, you give them as
You should, FYI.
All right. Monkeys. Business Insider, the leading, monkeyologist did an article about monkeys do not eat bananas in the wild.
yeah.
Well, that's why. Okay,
so it's all Hollywood.
So you were saying Sarah Connor?
Sarah Connor, man. Yeah, the transformation that you see between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 from, she tells Kyle in that scene, you look at me like I'm the mother of the future. She was like, and he tells her this is a great honor. She was like, you can keep your honor. I don't want it. To where she is at the end of that movie, where she is single-handedly fighting off the Terminator because Kyle has sacrificed himself, right? And I was torn between using Kyle or her as the favorite action hero, as much as I like the T-800.
I think you're the only one that put a woman on his list.
I think I am.
Yeah,
because we all had honorable mentions.
I had 2 honorable mentions.
Yeah, but
and at number 1.
Yeah.
I love the look that she's got on her face when she closes that gate. And
man, I haven't seen part 1 in so long.
And she looks it right in the fucking eye and she says, "You're terminated, fucker." Like, that's a different Sarah than you saw at the beginning of the movie. And then we see her in T2. And the very first thing we see is her fucking doing pull-ups and all fucking sweaty and like muscular, and it's like, that's a different fucking Sarah Connor than the hardened bitch we saw at the end of part 1. And she kicks
she gotta be a bitch, bro.
much fucking
She's
ass.
a lady,
She's
motherfucker.
a lady, motherfucker.
I don't know. No, that ain't no lady.
So Sarah Connor's she was almost made my mountain. She was like the number 4, but then I took her off and I thought of other people. But there's a line that she says in Terminator 2 that's fucking probably one of my favorites from that series. When he's like, "Hello, Sarah," and she's just like, "Hi, Dr. Silverman. How's the knee?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, she just looks at him with a fucking straight face like, "Bitch, I fucking stabbed you."
Yeah.
And he just like, "Oh, it's fine, Sarah." And he mutes it. And he's like, "She stabbed me," and then he with a pen. Like, I just fucking love, like, I love, and that, and then at the end, "You're pretty jumpy, Connor. Y tú siempre como culebra."
You can definitely see, like, she has not handled all of this well.
No, at all.
At all.
I don't think she's doing too good on that.
She clearly is she's struggling. Like
She has some PTSD.
yeah. But in the
Terminator disorder.
in the ooh, nice.
He's making a T-shirt already. in his head.
Yeah, no, I've designed it in my head already. There's with all of that baggage came this badass that she became, and without her, John never becomes the hero of the Resistance.
Right.
And everything that
Because she gave birth to him.
everything that Kyle talks
Yeah, I
about
mean, that's his mom.
in the
I mean, you know.
I don't know
yeah,
if you
but
know how
he
babies work.
would have been
Without your mom, fucking Jennifer Lopez would have never had a tour of the jungle to meet the anaconda. I mean, really, I mean, we're gonna give
Yes. Oh my god, I missed that part of the Jungle Cruise. Which part was that, Dave?
the dangerous part.
yeah.
All right,
It's the animatronic part.
Chris.
Yeah, so
We're losing Chris.
We don't see that John Connor who becomes the leader of the rebellion, and there's that strained relationship, and you kind of subvert that image of the mother, where the mother is supposed to be, caring and loving, and what exactly is care and love? Is it sitting there and cuddling with your child, or is it teaching your child to survive in the incoming apocalypse that
Right.
is going to happen and no one fucking believes? It's a really difficult role to play that I think Linda Hamilton plays beautifully, and like you feel for her. Like it's hurtful to see her in that movie, to see what it's done to her, to see how her family has been split up from the death of this man that she's grown to love in such a short period of time in the first one, to her son that she loves and he doesn't quite understand how it is that she's loving him. It's such a complex role, and she is far and away the best character in that whole series. I am really excited to see her come back. I'm not saying that she's the coolest to watch.
No,
or
you
anything
said
like
she's the
that.
best character in that.
She is. She's the best character in the whole
Hence why they
series.
made a TV series about her.
Yeah,
That TV series was the shit.
fucking
I know, I love that
awesome
show.
that TV series. So I can't wait to see her back in
Sarah Connor.
in the new Terminator show.
I remember.
Oh, okay. You look confused.
No, I'm thinking about the semen.
Excuse me?
That they put into the robot in order to make John Connor.
No.
Wasn't he a robot?
No, man.
What?
He was human, dude.
What kind of fucked
For
up
part
movie
one,
did
did you
you
not see
watch?
part-
Wasn't he a robot?
No,
That
man.
he can feel?
Did you watch Blobocop?
Oh, wait, you're thinking about it, Genesis, when John Connor had like melded with Skynet.
No, in the first Terminator.
No, man. Kyle Reese is human.
I think you watched
Yeah.
the porn version of it.
Yeah,
Kyle Reese
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Kyle Reese
I-
is
I
human,
always
dude.
I think you need to go to sleep.
I always thought he was a robot. Isn't
Yeah, I
he
mean-
the T-800 or whatever?
No,
That's Arnold.
That's Arnold. That's not.
Oh, this
that's not John.
motherfucker.
Chrysler, for the love of God, man.
Oh my god.
You need to watch that movie again.
But
I actually need to watch that movie. I haven't seen it in forever.
so the first one is a human.
Wow.
Were you living in the lost village that he explored in the river?
With Oriano Huerta.
Was
I
it hard
always
to
thought-
find the lost city of gold?
Wait, what?
Just look
Doesn't
for the
he op-
reflections on the horizon.
Doesn't he
you
open
see
up
it
his
there.
arm and like it's got like robot stuff?
That's in part 2.
That's in part 2.
That's Arnold.
Oh
that
no,
does it.
and in part 1, you're right. Yeah, he does that in
But
part
that's
1. yeah.
Arnold.
But that's Arnold. That's not John Connor. That's the Terminator that
That's
they
not
sent
John-
to
that's
kill
not Reese.
Sarah.
That's not Reese.
Yeah.
I thought Reese was.
No, Reese is not a Terminator. He's from the Human Resistance.
Yeah.
He tells her that.
But he's from the future.
He is from the future.
No, that part I got.
Have you
I
ever
just
watched Terminator? Are you thinking of Tu Wong Fu? That sounds
You know, that movie makes a lot
Now
more
that I
sense now.
know had Wesley Snipes.
That movie makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Because I always thought he was a robot as well.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Like how in the second one they
You're
send
embarrassing
the
the fuck
robot
out of me
to
right
save.
Right. They do that there. In the second one.
I don't know. I think I saw the second one first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
And then I saw the first one.
And you never saw the first one?
I did. I saw the first one.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Because you're talking like you haven't seen the first one. If you say you haven't seen the
then
first
he
one,
competes in the
there's gonna make
Kumite,
it-
right?
Yeah.
It's that one. All right, so Dave, you're done?
Yep. I'm done. It's my number one.
All right.
Dave, you're done.
My number one was John Wick.
Yeah, and hold on, let me write this down.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't let Neri talk about John Wick.
No, it's
He doesn't have it on his, does he?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was his
Oh, I'm
one.
sorry.
You shut me up
Tabled
about it. It's all right. It's fine. You guys did well.
I totally forgot. I'm sorry.
It's all right, dude. I didn't talk because you guys throwed it in. It was fine.
Sorry, it was the robot semen.
Sorry.
I always thought he was a robot, man.
Bro,
Wow.
I want to know the world you live in.
My number one is John Spartan from.
Yeah,
The
it
Mission
is.
Man. Yeah, he. Yeah.
That might be the mountain of the best villain and the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man,
absolutely.
Real.
Absolutely.
He's awesome.
Why they haven't made a sequel to that is beyond.
Because they asked for
fucking-
$20 million and
Huh?
They killed him.
They didn't kill John Spartan.
No, but they killed the villain.
Yeah,
Simon
that's
Phoenix.
fine. You can
Yeah.
make another fucking villain.
Simon Phoenix.
No, the fat guy that controls everything.
Oh.
Isn't he the villain?
That's true.
He was-
the puppet master.
Both of them were.
Right. He wasn't fat. He was old.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
that
talking-
guy was the assistant.
His
The
assistant,
assistant.
yeah, the guy, the guy, and then he later went to Beetlejuice,
Right.
and was
He's a
involved in-
seance.
yeah.
Got it.
But John Spartan's a shit, bro.
John Spartan is the shit,
Yeah.
and even though he doesn't know how to shit in
the future, or have sex.
With 3 seashells.
yeah, the three, yeah, it's fucking great.
Dennis Leary's role in that is amazing.
Yeah, he acted like Dennis Leary.
that movie is fantastic.
Very, very
Yeah.
Dennis
But
Leary.
it was good though.
No, it was great. It was
Schwarzenegger president.
Oh, it's
All
fantastic.
restaurants are Taco Bell.
Yeah, Exactamundo, one of my favorite of all time gifts to use. Yeah, that movie is fantastic, man. John Spartan is great. The beret, the everything, the machine that counts your cursing.
Oh, that he just stands there and he's
yeah.
like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
shit,
shit.
balls."
And he's like- Yeah, and he goes, "Forget the seashells. I'll be back in a minute." And that always made me laugh. And then I was like, "Hey, wait a minute! You went out here with your fucking ass dirty? What the fuck? Excuse you, sir." Yeah. Like, what were you gonna do before? You didn't even know about that paper, fucking about that machine that gives you, you've
I
been
thought he went to
deducted.
go shit after.
No, he went to go shit before. He goes, "Oh, there's."
He also
nothing."
thought there was robot semen.
Yeah, so
I need to pay attention when I watch movies. This is terrible.
yeah, that's like.
I'm doing bad.
Remember when you go, "Oh, ask Chris," I go, "Good," so he can mention a movie that he's never seen before.
Yeah.
That was the joke I made, and little did I know it was gonna be fucking real. Man.
I've watched all the movies that I mentioned. I think.
Okay.
The way that he plays off of Sandra Bullock in that movie is
I want to
awesome.
play off Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I want to play out Sandra Bullock and everything. Yeah, he's great. The whole movie's fantastic, but John Spartan, I think, is because he is one of the few Stallone movies that didn't get a sequel or 4. I think it gets just shadowed.
Stop or my mama will shoot.
Right.
Stop or my abuela will shoot.
I love that movie growing up.
See, it's your friend, Jeff. This is on you. No, I love John Spartan, man. I think everything great about John Spartan. The fact that he's a real detective and not just some psychopath. But that was one of my favorite lines. Send a psychopath to catch a psychopath. Right?
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, it was fucking great. So
Yeah.
I ate underneath his naked body at Planet Hollywood in Miami.
Yeah.
huge cock.
Yeah, big old
cock.
The rooster that froze with him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, anyways, I that movie gave me a lot of like. I know Back to the Future is one of those movies where when we were a kid, you go, "Wow, the future's gonna be like that." But when I watched Demolition Man, I was like, "The future could be. That's really how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna really."
he was just
That's where
hoping
we're
Taco
headed.
Bell was.
Yeah, Taco Bell's amazing, man. I would love for it to be the only restaurant. It'd be great. It's the only restaurant that survived the fast food wars.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite
that's the
lines.
best.
All right. So anyway, so that's number ones are John Wick, Sarah Connor, John Wick, and John Spartan. So I was close to having an all John John
Mountain
as well. So there you go.
So I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to just do?
Well,
because John Wick's the only.
John Wick got multiple,
and he got multiple number ones, so we can't do straight number ones.
But we could do Sarah Connor, John Spartan, and then just one
John Wick and what else?
Decide.
We could do John Wick, Sarah Connor.
Because John Wick got 3 votes.
Yeah, so John Wick, Sarah Connor, John Spartan,
and one more.
Yeah.
Wick, John Spartan. I'm gonna write this down. And
I mean Cameron Poe. No.
Sarah Connor. I mean, not for nothing, but I did have John Matrix. I'm like, I mean, you know,
I'm down for John Matrix to make the mountain.
So I'm just gonna put that out there from Commando. I mean, the other ones are Jack Burton, Paul Kersey, Indiana Jones, Max Walker, Harry Tasker from True Lies, or John Matrix. Those are really the only ones left. Or in Cameron Poe.
Thank you.
And Chev Chelios that no one's gonna pick, or Robin Hood that no one's gonna pick. Just gonna go ahead and put that out there. So I think it would be.
I'm good with Indiana Jones or John Matrix.
Yeah. Or John Patrick Mason.
When you compare him to Indiana Jones or John Matrix.
I would. I mean, comes down to me. I'd say Indiana Jones, but
no, that's a shocker.
John Matrix.
That's a shocker.
I'm good with either one, man. I'm good with either one.
I'm gonna go Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
What's your vote?
Indiana Jones.
All right, I was gonna go John Matrix. So fuck you guys. So the number ones are John Wick, John Spartan, Sarah Connor, and Indiana Jones. I could have had 3 on this mountain, but Indiana Jones. Look at snakes, whatever.
We each had 2. We each had 2?
No, I just had John Wick.
Oh, you said,
I just had Sarah Connor.
I had an honorable mention of John Spartan.
Okay, so
all right, well.
All right, so those are the number ones. Thank you very much for checking out the podcast, guys. Thank you for checking out the 100th episode. Thank you for those of you who have listened to every episode or most episodes, or even if you've only listened to one episode before, go back through our library. iTunes only has the last 30, but if you go to Podbean, or even quicker, if you just go to geekbro.net, if you disable the ad blockers, you get to see every page on geekbro.net has its own media player, and you could listen to every single episode that we've ever done, all 100 episodes. So thank you very much for the support. Thank you for that. Thank you for checking us out. Make sure you check out Dave's band called Naked Vengeance. Everything is at Naked Vengeance on social media, so at Naked Vengeance. It's hard rock. If you like hard rock, man, go listen to these guys, because they rock. And hard. And check out the other podcasts on the Geek Bro Network at geekbro.net. It's including What's Up Bro, What's Up Bro, Zeros on Hero, What's Good, Shiver, Talking Geek, Better Let Me Tell You, Comedy Fitness, Mamas of Merlot. We have another one. We have a new one.
Mr. Multiverse.
Mr. Multiverse, I'm sorry. But we have a new one, which I haven't made a tile. I got to make a tile for Morbid Curiosity.
Yes.
So make sure you guys check that.
It's really, I love that one.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
make
good.
sure you guys check that out. And again, it's geekbro.net. And that's how lists are made.
Thank you, guys.